Before we get started, I want to remind everyone that the information in this presentation is not to be or construed as investment advice. The information presented are subject to change without notice, and while we have made every reasonable effort to ensure that the content is reliable and accurate, we have not independently verified the content and are not responsible for errors therein. Please consult a professional advisor before putting a loonie in any of these financial markets. Hi everyone, my name is Richard Diaz and welcome back to the IceCap Canadian Market Wrap. In this week's episode, we're going to dive into the latest Bank of Canada monetary policy decision to cut rates, as well as touch on some of the monetary policy reports and what it might mean for Canadians going forward. On Wednesday, the Bank of Canada cut the overnight target rate by 25 basis points, or a quarter of a percentage point, to 2.25%. And as you can see on the top panel of the chart, this latest cut brings a total for this rate cutting cycle to 275 basis points. Tiff Macklem, the Bank of Canada governor, declared the rate is now about at the right level to balance inflation and growth. For the uninitiated, the cut was fully expected. The overnight index swap market, a bond market used to calculate the probability of these things, suggested it was a 94% chance that it was going to happen. So if the cut was as expected, why was the meeting so interesting? Well, a couple of things. We'll address those in a minute, but first let's highlight some of the key findings of the monetary policy report. It's a long report, and I suggest you guys check it out. It's freely available on the Bank of Canada's website. And in the press conference, the Bank of Canada governor will refer to some of the findings in that report. Tiff Macklem reiterated that upward momentum in inflation has dissipated, and inflation pressures from tariffs are expected to be offset by weaker growth. In a monetary policy report, the BOC published their projections. As you can see, the bank anticipates inflation to ease towards 2% over the coming months. Now, this is in direct contrast with IceCap's expectations that inflation will rise towards the end of the year. Check out last week's episode for more on that. In contrast with our view, and to reiterate, the counterpoint to higher inflation is this tweet from Ben Rabideau, friend of the show, and chart 11 from the Monetary Policy Report. And he argues that the BOC is cutting interest rates because they're looking through the rental CPI data that just does not seem to make sense. It remains above average, as you can see in the red bar, even though the market-based rents are falling, as you can see from the little map on the slide. Switching gears to growth, part of the Monetary Policy Report includes a GDP forecast. Quarterly growth is expected to weaken in the second half of 2025 due to export declines and investment caution. But Canada is set to avoid a recession, according to the Bank of Canada, with modest growth overall. GDP is forecast to expand by 1.2% in 2025, which is not very good, slowing to 1.1% next year before rebounding to 1.6% in 2027. Now, these are materially lower numbers than we've seen over the last few years. We'll explain why that is in a couple of minutes, as you'll see from the productivity and population chart. But clearly, the Bank of Canada continues to be very worried about the exports due to U.S. protectionism. This chart on the right highlights the fall in exports. The key takeaway here is that the BOC expects no rebound over the short term. Of course, that may or may not change if we have some kind of trade deal. The jury, of course, is still out. Canada still has no trade deal with the U.S., and I continue to believe that any deal is better than no deal, as businesses abhor uncertainty. And you can see the impact of that uncertainty here. This is chart 7 from the Monetary Policy Report, and you can see businesses with a high reliance on exports to the United States, about 8% of total employment, have cut their labor force, while other parts of the economy, including the public sector, continue to rise. Just like we discussed a couple of weeks ago, these technocratic governmental organizations like the PBO, Parliamentary Budget Office, and the BOC, the Bank of Canada, cannot and should not forecast recessions. It creates way more problems than it's worth. But I'm worried that continued uncertainty around trade will weigh on business sentiment and further drag on growth and employment and consumption. In short, their forecasts seem far too rosy. One thing that stood out in the press conference was that Tiff Macklem stated that less efficient trade with the United States will ultimately mean lower standards of living in Canada. Now, of course, I agree to some extent, but personally, I was outraged by this because it totally glosses over what has happened over the last 10 years. GDP per capita, a measure of standard of living, has been flat. And you can see versus the United States, it used to be lockstep. Canada is now ranked 37 out of 38 countries in the OECD in terms of growth over that period, the last 10 or so years, and it's only ahead of Luxembourg, which is not really a country, sorry to say. Canada has already suffered a major decline in our standard of living. Further to this was the claim that Canada is in a, quote, structural productivity crisis from disrupted trade specialization. But we know that's not strictly true. In March of 2024, the senior deputy governor of the Bank of Canada, Carolyn Rogers, gave a speech about Canada's productivity emergency. And so, yes, although the trade war is clearly hurting some sectors in Canada, what it really has done is expose the vulnerabilities of a badly mismanaged economy. The governor went on to say that, quote, tariffs are a problem monetary policy cannot fix. And of course, I completely agree. Lower rates will not address acute trade uncertainty, but they also won't address any number of Canada's underlying structural problems that have been around for years and have been largely either overlooked or unaddressed. And these include poor productivity, weak private capex, capital flight, a bloated bureaucracy, a record tax take, high debts, significant anti-oil and anti-natural resource regulation, and housing affordability. So what does this mean for interest rates looking ahead? Well, there's two ways to think about it. One is that the economy will continue to deteriorate and inflation will indeed fall when growth and aggregate demand falls, and that will push down expectations of future interest rates. And the other view is that inflation will rebound and the Bank of Canada will be forced to keep interest rates at the current levels. What we're seeing in front of you right now is the chart with headline inflation and the monetary policy report, and those dots are the current expectations based on the overnight index swap of the path of future interest rates. And as you can see, it's flat as a pancake, suggesting either the market is unclear about what's going to happen next, or that indeed what people have talked about is in fact so, that the Bank of Canada is done for now. All right, that's a wrap on this week's episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Please like, subscribe, and follow for more. And as always, we manage money for families all across Canada and the world, so please feel free to get in touch.